This Harvard president saga, or more affectionately referred to as the Claudine Gay saga, or the big gay president saga. I like that one a little bit better. It's been very interesting, right? Because she ended up catching a lot of flack for, being on that panel that Elise Stefanik was grandstanding going, "How don't you stand with Israel?" Oh my God, we get it. We know who the Republican Party cares about, okay? And she had a measured take that, in a vacuum, was fine. Okay, it was fine. The way that it was sensationalized by the, we'll just say, capitulating right was a little bit close to brushing up with cancel culture for my taste, but that's long in the rearview mirror. We've got a new, more viable controversy surrounding President Gay. And the fact of the matter is, like I already thought, it's like, okay, you go ahead and you see that row of university presidents, the one from MIT, the one from Harvard, and then Yale. Was that the other one? Oh no, it was Penn. Yeah, right. Yeah, Penn, because she ended up resigning. They all looked like they were there for merit. Yeah, merit. But also knowing how one of the previous Harvard presidents ended up getting tapped on the shoulder and then appointed to the Supreme Court without ever being a lawyer, without ever being a judge previously in their life. Shout out Elena Kagan with some of the worst takes ever. But hey, Barack Obama, who's also going to be making a cameo in this video as well, as you already know. But we need to catch everybody up to speed on this one, okay? So she's out there committing some plagiarism, okay? Which, if you're going to go ahead and rep Democratic causes, kind of seems on point. Check out Joe Biden's laundry list of issues on that subject. But Harvard president Claudine Gay's lawyers ridiculed plagiarism claims as created by ChatGPT, right? I couldn't possibly be wrong. It's all of those racists and bigots and sexists and homophobes that are online. Actually, don't know if she's gay, but would it shock me? Lawyers for Harvard and its president, Claudine Gay, tried to dismiss allegations she was a plagiarist as having been created by ChatGPT. That's interesting, because if you've fiddled around with a ChatGPT, you're going to notice that, oh boy, is it a novelty that's not quite where everybody thinks it's going to be for everybody who's grabbing their hair at the roots, thinking that, oh my God, Skynet's on the way. Not quite. It might eventually get there, but if we're going to keep it a buck, more or less just an aggressive search engine. If you can be easily discredited like that, okay, well, that says more about your work than it does about the search engine. They sent a 15-page legal tirade to the Post, which launched a bizarre conspiracy theory that the 27 instances in which her work appeared to closely resemble that of other academics may have been uncovered by using Microsoft's artificial intelligence chatbot. Well, okay, using it to go ahead and cross-reference other relevant work, okay, that seems like a fairly accurate use of the technology as it sits right now. So I don't necessarily know why you'd gripe with that. No, I'm not a plagiarist. It's just you've got technology on your side. Wait, what? In the letter sent on October about the Post's attorney threatened a lawsuit if the newspaper published allegations of plagiarism against Gay. The letter was sent before the Harvard Corporation. The board, which runs the Ivy League school, launched its own secret investigation into numerous allegations of plagiarism against the embattled president, in effect clearing her in the advance of the probe. Yeah, exactly. We investigated ourselves and figured out we did nothing wrong. Of course. Indeed, there are strong indications that the excerpts cited by the Post were not, in fact, the complaints of a human complaint. Okay, just because is she trying to run, or her legal team is trying to run with the defense that this is a victimless crime, so why does anybody care? Holy. Like, this would have been my fundamental problem about her appointment as president to begin with, because normally you just have the goofy assumptions from college kids that my feelings, okay, somebody else's theoretical possible offense that could be taken is a far more important and necessary to be buttressed than, actual facts. That would be a problem that you could address from these whack administrators, but trying to run it back to, yeah, okay, so I published a lot of work. Sure, it's close to a lot of other more reliable, well-spoken, much more accomplished sources. Who's it to you, okay? Are they the ones who are suing? But rather generated by artificial intelligence or some other technological or automated means. Ah, yes, they fired up the old dictaphone and realized that there were some old messages on there, and that sounded an awful lot like something that Claudine Gay wrote back in the day. Isn't that a tizzy? wrote Thomas Clare and David Sillers on their October 27th letter to the Post. Yes, this has been going on for quite a while. It was sent 3 days after the Post asked Harvard Communications Department for comment on the alleged plagiarism. If these indications are correct, and the ultimate source of these examples is an algorithm-generated a list created by asking ChatGPT to, for example, show me the 10 most similar pages and works by Claudine Gay to other scholarly works, it is no complaint at all. Yeah, I don't really know about that. Just because everybody turns a blind eye to a crime doesn't make it any less of a crime. But that would be something that could be posited in an ethics class in, say, like, I don't know, like a prestigious university. Humor me for a second with an analogy. But instead, they're probably far more interested in figuring out, okay, if you're a man in today's day and age, can you accurately represent the legal causes of a woman or a non-binary individual? I'm sure that's far more relevant than worrying about if you're just stealing ideas wholesale. Who knows? But everybody's throwing this bitch under the bus. And it's a little weird. I find it a little strange, right? So, liberal Atlantic magazine. Why the Atlantic? Okay, one of the commie of commie rags. Throwing another commie under the bus? It must be another day that ends in Y, right? Okay, for not holding president accountable on plagiarism. Betrayed its values. Yeah, because if anybody are going to be hacks, leave it up to the Atlantic, okay? That's gimmick infringement. Far left outlet. The Atlantic ripped Harvard University for not doing enough to hold its president Claudine Gay responsible for her recent scandals, particularly her plagiarism scandal. The Atlantic's contributing writer, Elliot Cohen, I'm sure he probably had an axe to grind. Where's my bell? Who received his PhD from Harvard and was a former administrator there, blasted the school's board, the Friday article, claiming that it should be in a tougher spot for not holding Gay accountable for plagiarism. He declared that Gay's alleged behavior, which he argued is indisputable, is disqualifying in that her leadership role, and that she needs to leave her office. But she still stands there, bruh. She's not leaving. I'm not leaving. Can't make me leave. Okay, look at this. This right there is the face of staunch determinism, and there is nobody that's going to push her off her porch. There is nothing you can do, because guess what? Okay, she might not be able to articulate her thoughts and writing without, liberal help from other equally authoritative sources. Okay, but she's well connected. How well connected is she? Well, got Obama to help her out. Obama secretly pushed Harvard to keep President Claudine Gay despite campus anti-Semitism, plagiarism controversies. Oh, very interesting. I seen this article come up a few days ago. Obviously, you can see when it was posted on the 22nd of December, so it's been out there in the ether for a minute. And when it first crossed my digital desk, okay, I retweeted the post and really drove home the point, okay, for as many people who had their minds shattered in 2016 after the election of Trump. They thought that all this culture war stuff really started back then. But who was the one? Who was the one that laid the foundation? Who was the one that laid the groundwork? Who sold themselves as being the great uniter, as somebody who could go ahead and bring everybody together? So then, by the time an 8-year stint ended up passing, you had to have somebody to come forward once again and then just try to help heal the union. Obama caused all of this nonsense. When did the rise of BLM happen? What was one of the first things that Barack Obama did? What was one of the first big scandals? You'll never find it if you go on something like CNN or any of the other mass medias that just spent 8 full years fully filleting him to completion. No, he had to sit down for a beer with a local police officer because he made some vague insinuations. Okay, what were some of his other famous quotes? Because he was lauded for being such a great orator. If Trayvon Martin, if I had a son, I'd look exactly like Trayvon. Old Skittles and Sprite Trayvon. Old neighborhood thug that jumped George Zimmerman. Oh yeah, that one? That would be your son. Okay, going ahead and extolling the virtues of the best of society. He was raised a commie. He was born a commie. So of course, why wouldn't he support people that are as red as my t-shirt? Former President Barack Obama has secretly lobbied Harvard University officials to stick by embattled President Claudine Gay, she faces pressure to resign for giving cover to anti-Semitism on campus. Not really. And for committing plagiarism. That's the one that you could go ahead and really run with. But this is kind of like a flip reverse situation when it comes to Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, okay? He was also facing dueling scandals at the time, and ultimately, at the end of the day, he ended up resigning because of some inappropriate Italian sausage jokes. But in actuality, okay, the way that he handled a certain situation in the state by having certain people being flooded into old folks' homes, that's the one that should have taken him down. But as for the right, okay, the people really trying to push hard to get rid of her. What's the accusation that they lead with? Just like the left. They would go ahead and lead with the Me Too accusation instead of, worrying about those dastardly facts. No, my feelings matter more. It's two heads of the same coin. Barack Obama, 62. Wow, it feels like not that long ago that we just did a video about him having that gigantic 60th birthday party in the backyard of Martha's Vineyard back when everybody was, forced to be in lockdown. But it's different because Michelle, she put a lot of effort into this big birthday party. What was it? One of those big super spreader events when how many people got sick? Anyways, a 1991 graduate of Harvard's law school. Holy crap. He was alive, but barely. Privately urged the university to let Gay remain in office after she testifies December 5th to the House Education and Workforce Committee. That calls for the genocide of may be permissible under the school's code of conduct. Oh my God, that was not the question, but this is what they're going to try to hang her on, and it's not going to work. Should try chambers of some kind. It sounded like people were being asked to close ranks to keep the broader administration stable, including its composition. A source told, Jewish Insider, of the former president's clandestine effort. Very interesting. Very interesting. Somebody who, Claudine Gay, man, let's keep it a buck. She's probably not the best person for that job. Okay? I'm just going to say it. I don't really know all about her body of work, but then at the same time, being the president of an Ivy League school, I would say if you're even getting sniffed with accusations of plagiarism, either you come out swinging or they never should show up in the first place, because an outlet like that, an institution like that, you should have the best of the best available, not the best networked individuals available. Barack Obama's out there, man, and we're going to be in for so long because those former Democratic presidents, man, they all last forever. We're going to have, Machiavelli behind the scenes here pulling the strings for the next 2-3 decades. Ugh. That's tough. That's real tough. But to say I'm shocked, I don't want to end the video on a lie. I knew damn right this is exactly what was going to happen. That is something that the right could really learn from the left, okay? When one of their own is to be thrown under the bus, and they can still be of some use, so they go ahead and close ranks. Really is something, man. It really is amazing. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone. And would you look at that? I did this big old expose, and then she ends up handing in her resignation notice to Harvard. But wait, there's more. Claudine Gay just resigned. Yes, January 2nd, right at the beginning of the day, the first official day of the work year. And she decided, I'd kind of like a little bit of an extended holiday. Yes, so she has resigned as Harvard president, the shortest tenure ever. Her career accomplishments: wrote a total of 11 papers in her entire career, 6 of them containing plagiarism. Nearly all of them were about race or gender, and she was also a black woman. Well, still is, to be fair, okay, but she's no longer employed. But it actually gets funnier from there because, okay, cool, what took her so long? She was probably in negotiations to just gracefully leave, and she ended up securing that golden parachute. And buddy, it's a pretty lucrative deal. I would definitely take it as well. You might not have the prestige here. A business card might read something a little bit different, but Harvard's Claudine Gay set to keep her nearly $900,000 annual salary despite resigning as university president. Exactly, because guess what? She knows where all the bodies are hidden at that place. She is well connected, as exemplified by Barack Obama going, look, listen, we need to keep her on as president because she's black and has a funny last name. Not gonna lie though, President Gay was very funny. She won't be leading the Crimson, but green shouldn't be a problem. Outgoing Harvard President Claudine Gay will still likely earn nearly $900,000 a year despite being forced to resign from her position as the school's top administrator. Political science professor Gay, who stepped down amid a tempest of allegations as she did not do enough to combat anti-Semitism and academic plagiarism Tuesday. I'm just glad that, unlike the Andrew Cuomo situation, she got taken down for the right problem because, okay, cool, she's going to end up earning $879,079 as Faculty of Arts and Sciences Dean in 2021, $824,068 in 2020 when everything was online. Interesting. So yeah, presidential salary of roughly $1 million is would have entitled to after only serving in the post for 6 months. Her predecessor, Lawrence Bacow, pulled in $1.3 million annual salary before his departure, according to Harvard Crimson. He was probably in the position for much longer than her very, very brief stay. Alan M. Garber, interesting who they bring on as the replacement, but if you want a little bit more insight on him, just go check out the Wikipedia page on him. Early life will go ahead and fill you in. Who currently serves as provost and chief academic officer, will serve as interim president until the school selects a new chief official, said Tuesday. But now that she no longer has the shield of Harvard, in order to go ahead and deflect any of the additional criticisms, what eventually did end up taking her down? Well, we know all about the plagiarism scandals that did way down her post-congressional testimony career, but couple that with 6 new allegations, and then also, I mean, come on, you got to dance with the partner that brought you, obviously, with her resignation notice. I believe the people of Harvard, because you see the possibility of promise of a better future. That maudlin disaster that she released, shout out to Amuse for this one. Disgraced Harvard President Gay released her resignation letter this morning. I ran the letter through Grammarly's plagiarism checker, and to my surprise, it found evidence of plagiarism. Full text of her letters in the next post in this thread. Oh my God, Gay, never change, because your shit is hilarious. So now, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.